Pick up on a Monday, dust on the dash, long week ahead. Scrolling through the noise, man, every voice inside my head. Then I hit that little thumbnail, that worn out logo that I know. Soon as that thing kicks in, I feel the static let go. Hashtag true. Say it how you said at the kitchen table. Hashtag true. Bend but on is tough and stable. Laugh a little, cry a little, call it like you see it in the booth. Turn it up loud, let it shake that roof. Hashtag.
Oh, love that intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Wednesday night hashtag truth. I am your host, Scott Larson. We are here with the new HWA heavyweight champion himself, Mr. Joey Reimer. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Very, very nice introduction. Very good introduction.
I was so ecstatic when I saw that you won it. Now, we're going to talk a few minutes about what happened shortly after that. But for right now, how did it feel to take home the biggest prize in HWA, to be the face of HWA? What does that mean to Joey Reimer?
It means a lot. It felt great. It felt great, like me being in the business as long as I have and coming up and everything. It gave me that certainty that I can still hang with the young guys, and it gave me the certainty that I still have a lot left to offer to professional wrestling, rather than just be that guy that's been around forever that just kind of washed up, you know. And it gives me great faith in HWA, showing that they see my hard work, they see the dedication, they see the ability, and I'm very fortunate for them to place me in that position. They have a lot of faith in me, and I really appreciate that.
Let's just say it how it is too, man. You kind of owned Mr. Valentine. Let's just put it out there like it is. Good matches. I mean, I think you fought him like 4 times. Good matches, but you pretty much owned him. You deserved to win that heavyweight. At least that's the fan in me, being HWA fan club president, thinks you deserve that, man.
I don't really feel I deserve it, but I feel I've earned it, because it was a lot of hard work, us taking the storyline and us starting this back in August and trying our best to keep the fans interested. And that was the big deal, is trying to keep them interested from, like, let's say August to December. And I was like, hey, when are we going to pull the trigger on this? When are we going to finally make the drop? We teased it. And then eventually we made the drop. Crowd went ecstatic. And I think that was the best decision for business. I really do.
Okay, I'm going to go through. We got Robert Brown on here. I love Robert Brown. He said, Lafayette, Indiana in the building. Love you. He said, Joey Reimer, welcome to hashtag truth. Congrats on your title. And he said, Joey, do you prefer to be a heel or a baby face?
I prefer to be a babyface, because I like the challenge of getting people to like you. I kind of feel anyone can be a heel, because naturally, if you just go out there being mean to people, it's a lot easier to make people dislike you than it is to like you.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. Here we go. We're going to have fun now. The owner of HWA said he cheated Vinny Valentine. Now back to fishing. What do you have to say about the owner saying you cheated to win that title?
I don't completely understand how you cheat in a match where anything goes. I guess that's the only thing to say there. But fishing's cool. Fishing's cool.
And speaking of sore losers, oh look, it's the former Heritage Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion. Former, I do believe he's the now. I think he's trying to create his own little world. Ben is. Speaking of Ben Wright, again, I didn't upload the video. I should have, but right after you won the match, Mr. Ben Wright came out, looked like he was totally happy for you, took his hand, put it out there, shook your hand. You turned around to celebrate, and the man kicked you right in the family jewels, man. That was so disgraceful. What do you have to say to Ben about that?
I've known Ben a majority of my life. I've known him. We basically grew up together. He's only 7 years older than me. Wherever I was, he was. I would wrestle a place. He would wrestle a place. We live maybe 2-3 roads from each other. We're very good friends, and I would like to think that Ben's still the same person that he is deep down. But he's angry. He's bitter. He's jealous, and I would just stem that to jealousy. I don't think Ben truly is the person that he acted that night, but only the truth will tell. But right. I will say if Ben says former, I will say Ben anytime, anywhere. I would love to defend against him.
Now that's what I love as a fan and the HWA fan club president. That's what I love to hear, because we've had some HWA, heavyweight champions who, tried to weasel out of a lot of matches. We're not going to name names, Mr. Fabio, but it's okay. I love that you are a fighting champion, and that makes my heart just grow 3 sizes, if you will. Robert wants to know, what kind of music do you like?
I like 80s. I like 80s rock. I like Poison. I like AC/DC. I like Twisted Sister. I like stuff like that. I'm big into 80s rock.
I grew up, my favorite, all 80s music for me, brother. But I love 80s hair metal. And you named a bunch of my favorites. Poison. I like Rat. I like Cinderella. I like, Skid Row. You name them, man. I was just listening yesterday to a bunch of music, and a bunch of those bands you named cross my screen, man, without a doubt. And he wants to know, his backup question is always, do you like Tupac?
I do not like Tupac. I'm not interested in rap music or gangster rap or I would say R&B, that style. It's just not really my thing. I don't. I mean, people like different things. It's just not something that I enjoy.
Nothing. Hey, some people like all music. Some people just like one music. I know some people right here in South Carolina, the only thing they'll listen to is country music. So I get it, man. I truly do. Dax O'Real says, I'm in the house, homies. Okay, Dax, welcome to hashtag. Robert wants to know, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Well, I'm a 90s baby, but I've always considered myself a student of the game. So I like older wrestling. My favorite wrestler growing up, I really like Macho Man. And I kind of like my wrestling style. I kind of go that style, or like the flamboyant trunks and the boots and things like that. I usually go that style, like bright colors like gold, black, pink, blue, things like that. Because in my eyes, when you think of professional wrestling, Macho Man is what I think of as a wrestler. He was fit, he was muscular, he was tan, he was in trunks, he was in boots, and he was ready to wrestle. When I think of a professional wrestler, that's who I think of.
I love that answer. That whole answer right there was special to me. I love that. Bam's in the house. Bam said, what's up, y'all? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Bam. This is the ring announcer for HWA, if you guys don't know. We're going to be talking about the upcoming shows coming up in the near future for HWA in a little while, so stick around. If you got any questions or comments for me or Joey Reimer, please, by all means, put them in the comments. Robert said, Joey Godfrey, shout out to you, brother, for last night. Yes, last night was good. Joey said, as I explained last night, Ben was attempting to catch a falling Joey Reimer as he slipped. Yeah, you're giving the same face that I did last night. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's a lie, right? Just
yeah, that's any excuse.
I got you.
But with Ben getting involved, that lets me know that he's no longer retiring, or he may be on the verge of retiring. So hopefully in the future, that'll give me a reason to get Ben in the ring one last time.
That's one thing that I will talk about for just a minute, and then I promise you I will get to the rest of the comments over here. Does a wrestler really retire, Joey? Have you ever heard of a wrestler just flat out just getting out of the business and never touching it again? I'm not talking about not getting in the ring. There's a lot of people that's retired and not gone back in the ring, but a lot of people still come to wrestling shows. They still sign autographs. They still, do commentary. They still manage. They still find a way to be in the game. So I seriously do not think that Mr. Ben Wright is totally retired from the game.
Well, usually with retirement, there'll be a severance, a pension, or maybe a 401k. But when it comes to pro wrestling retirement, I don't think anyone ever quits. It's kind of like a mafia, too much. So I don't think anyone ever quits. I just think it gets to the point where our bodies are beat up, and it just comes to a point where we're no longer able to do in-ring activities. So either you may promote, you may book, you may become a ref, or do something less strenuous on the body. But I still feel that everyone still is somehow involved. But then again, there are some dudes that I know that have retired 6 or 7 times since I've been doing it. And it's not like they quit wrestling. It's like they just take longer breaks in between. It's like they'll disappear for a year, wrestle for 6, disappear for 5 years, and then come back, and so on and so forth.
There you go. And yes, I know many of those wrestlers. I know many in our area. I could name 2 or 3 right off the top of my head. No joke. Robert wants to know, how long have you been in the business? And I'm going to follow up with a bunch of other questions that are normally asked. So how long have you been in the business, sir?
Sure. I started training in 2008. I was 12 years old. I had my first match in August 14th, 2009. And I wrestled from 2009 up into 2015. I took a break from 2015 to 2018. And then I've been nonstop ever since.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that you come from a wrestling family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I started in Southern Wrestling Association. It was owned by my grandfather's brother. His name was Ralph Reimer. Most people think that Wicked is my uncle or my nephew or brother. That's not true. Wicked, his name was David Reimer. He is no longer alive. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But that is my grandpa's son's son. So that is my second cousin. So I got into wrestling in 2008 because I wanted to train. I trained for a year under BJ Hancock and Wicked. I trained underneath them for a year. Started wrestling in 2009. I was with SWA from 2009 to 2012. And then I had some issues with Wicked. It was one of those, everyone wants to succeed until you do better than them. And then it became, oh, you're wrestling other places. Oh, you can't make my dates. And I'm like, oh, but there's better opportunities. I started traveling. That caused some heat between us. And unfortunately, like most wrestlers, Wicked went down the bad path of drugs and pills and things like that. And unfortunately, he had passed away. But it's unfortunate that I was never able to fix that relationship. But on my part, there were no heat on my part. It was just all one-sided heat. But leaving SWA in 2012, I was afforded a great opportunity by Franklin Dove and Bill Behrens down in Georgia. I wrestled from NWA Anarchy from 2012 to 2015. I wrestled for them, did TV tapings the 2nd and 4th of every month. I'm very fortunate for that opportunity. I rode with Brett Wolverton. Brett Wolverton's a good friend of mine, and he kind of took me under his wing whenever I left Wicked. I thought I was learning a lot from Wicked and his buddies, but realistically, I was just getting drove from show to show to job out to them, so I wasn't really learning anything. So
I wouldn't quite go, you weren't learning anything. They might not have been teaching you. You were probably learning things on your own. You were probably learning things about the business on your own because, you if you realize that, hey, wait a minute, I'm losing everywhere I'm going here. Wait a minute, you're learning. They might not be training.
Oh no,
you, but you're still learning.
It's not a win or loss thing. I get that, right. But it was the fact that I was getting brought to shows and just getting beaten up. It's not like I didn't have the experience of calling a match. I didn't have the experience of like going through the motions of how a match is called, what to do here, what to do that. It was just more of, this is the match, I'm calling it for you, this is what we're doing. So I didn't really get to experience that, and that was very unfortunate.
Now,
But also doing that,
matches now, are you more calling or helping call your matches, or are you calling your matches now, or are you going back and forth with whoever you're wrestling? I mean, what are your? I don't want you to break the whole fourth wall, but I'm just saying, are you at a point in your career where you're calling matches now?
I usually call the things that I'm going to do, and to be respectful to my opponent, they usually call the things that they're going to do in the match. So unless the person I'm wrestling has more years on me, then usually I would let them take lead, because that's the respectful thing to do as the person who's had the more time in the business, to take lead and say, this is what's going on and so forth. But also during that time period, I wrestled for Chief Jay Eagle. I wrestled for American Pro Wrestling in Spartanburg. Eagle, very close friend of mine. I wrestled for him for years. I even wrestled, well, it's no secret, I was underage, but I was still wrestling for him in South Carolina.
Right.
But
there are a lot of people who wrestled. Now, some people like to drag APW through the mud, but there has been a lot of superstars that have came through APW, and you can say whatever you want about Chief Jay Eagle and all that, but Chief Jay Eagle gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities and started off their career. So I will always give him props for that. Now, was he a little eccentric in the way he did things? Yes, he was. He was different, but he did give a lot of people. And you just said I was underage when I was there. So, Jay Eagle was the type of guy, hey, you want to wrestle? Okay, there's the ring. Let's go. Let's see what you got.
right, yeah, and he was a great guy, and he still is a great guy, and I keep in touch with him. He's one of the few. I kind of feel that way in professional wrestling. A lot of people, I wouldn't say I have a lot of friends in pro wrestling, but I just know a lot of people. I know over 300-400 people who do this, but I would say I have maybe 3 or 4 very close friends in pro wrestling, and Eagle's one of them. It's a deeper bond than just, hey, we have this common interest of pro wrestling.
Right. I got you. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. And trust me, there's a lot more people than just you that say that about Jay Eagle. I keep my ears to the ground in this game all the time, and there are plenty of people who say that about Jay Eagle. Bam said, Joey, go catch my dinner and hush. I love Bam. Ben Wright said, jealousy, don't make me laugh. Simple facts are, is you're just a puppet pulling strings, or should I say getting your strings pulled. Now, I think he's trying to say Joey is pulling your strings. Is Joey doing that, or is he just, again, throwing something out of left field?
I feel that the opportunities that have been afforded to me, I feel that I've earned those opportunities, and I feel that no one can take that away from me. And if anyone would like to step in the ring, and we can get in the ring together, and we can see what kind of magic we can make.
There you go. Brandon Ledford, happy birthday, brother. I would sing, but I have a horrible singing voice, man. But happy 40th birthday, my friend. I hope your day is a great, and thank you for coming by #Truth on your birthday. I know you could be anywhere you want to be, but thank you for being here with me and Joey while we're talking. Robert said what you just said. He respects that, man. That's respect. Ben Wright said, look, I'm a nice guy. Happy birthday, keyboard warrior. He is. He's talking about Brandon. I love it. Dak said, if you was in now he's skipping way ahead, but he said, if you was in WWE or AEW, who would you like to go against or be in a tag team against?
I like staying a single competitor for the most part of my career. I have been a singles competitor. Okay. I did tag team with BJ Hancock briefly. I did tag team with Will Demented briefly. I tag team with Harlow Heights briefly. But tag team is kind of a different animal. There's not a lot of tag teams in the area. And I will say tag teaming, there's a bit of a hidden thing in there that makes it harder. And that's, hey, buddy, we're booked this weekend. Oh, I can't. I have to work. So it's not only keeping track of your schedule, you're keeping track of theirs and so on and so forth. But I would say right now, if I was in WWE, the person that I would say face, I would like to face, I would say AJ Styles. That'd be pretty cool.
I was going to say that. I was hoping you wouldn't say that so I could say it. But you said the first guy that came to mind to me was, I would love to see you face AJ Styles. I think that would be a really good match. I don't know what you said, but Robert definitely said, oh, yeah. He agreed with you.
Maybe that's back to the Macho Man comment earlier.
Oh, it could be. Oh, yeah, you're right. It could be. Robert said, I'm way behind, man. I'm trying my hardest to catch up. Robert said, Happy New Year, brother, and Happy New Year, Joey.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Brandon said, Bam is the best ring announcer there is. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Even though I've got a lot of friends who I love Bam. So there's a bunch of them out there, but I love Bam too. I'm not going to be on here long waiting on my food here at Longhorn Steakhouse. Bring me a steak, brother. What? I know it's your birthday and all that, but, help a fat friend out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and Hickory. I haven't been to Hickory in years. I used to wrestle at Hickory up in Hickory National Guard Armory. That's one of the places I got my start.
Okay, so there you go, man. So let's talk about your start, man. Who was the first person that came to you? Now, again, I know you had a wrestling family, history and things like that. And you just told us a little bit about it. But when did you look at this crazy thing called wrestling and go, man, I would love to be a part of that?
Well, I mean, I grew up in it. I had a very fortunate upbringing that a lot of people didn't. So a lot of people didn't start getting involved until they were like 18, 19, or 20.
Right.
So by the time I was 18, I already had 5 years in. So I got to start at a very young age. I'm very fortunate that I was able to start at a young age because I was able to make the mistakes that I've seen other people make, and I was able to learn from those mistakes early on. And now that I'm 30 and I'll be 31 in April, I kind of feel that I have a girl, I have 2 sons, so it's a career, a house, all that good stuff that a normal person would have. I'm very blessed, very fortunate, but I will say I got the traveling done when I was younger. I was on the road nonstop from the time I was 18 to probably 22. So I was very fortunate to be able to wrestle in West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and so on. I was able to travel and get the traveling done so I can be at home more with my family and things like that.
There you go. Brandon Lefford said, I plan on being at the show on both the 10th and the 17th. Scott, I added a pretty sweet baseball card to my collection today. I can't wait to see it. We're baseball junkies, so we show each other baseball cards. Bam said, thank you, and I appreciate that, and happy birthday to Brandon. And Brandon said, you're welcome. I meant that too, and thank you. Harry Bernard Taylor's in the house. Said, hey, Scott, what's up, Joey? Congratulations on your HWA Heavyweight Championship.
I really liked Harry Taylor. I wish he would come around more often, like come around to more shows. I haven't seen him in a while, but I was on their podcast back in, I believe, 2021, whenever me and William Rollins was running the show, His Pro Wrestling out of Packlet, South Carolina. That show we ran for about 2 years. I was on their podcast. But yeah, Harry Taylor, great guy.
It's the Straight Up Wrestling Show, you guys. Harry Bernard Taylor and Christopher Burton, man. Them two do a really great job over there.
Yeah, two good guys. Two very good guys. I miss seeing them. Great guys.
Been good friends of mine for quite a while now. Joey said, why don't you break down your opponent on January the 10th? Okay,
well, see, breaking down my opponent is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Fafo means a very large guy, and I will be breaking him down piece by piece.
I was going to say, before you answer that question, let me show who you're fighting, but you did it already. That's okay. That's okay. You're okay. I'm going to go ahead right now since you said that, and I'm going to show the promo video. It's only a minute long of all the matches that are going to be at HWA on the 10th. And, of course, this guy, the heavyweight champion, should be the main event against Fafo. But here's all the matches if you come out. Come on, guys. 217 Gilkey School Road, Rutherford, North Carolina. Doors open 6:30, bell time 7:30. $5 at the door. Kids 10 and under are free. And for all the love in the world, please go eat some of Mama's cooking over there at the concession stand. She's got a great concession stand over there. So here's all the matches.
At the edge now, it's about to go down. I'm gonna take it higher. It's time for me to light it, so they can't deny it. Hey, bring that fire. Bring that fire. If you take a shot, boy, you better not miss, cause it won't ever happen again. You're gonna wake up and not even know what your name is or where you have been. Better be ready to bleed if you think that you have any hope for a win. You're gonna wake up and not even know what your name is or where you have been. I never go dim, cause I only know how to win. I'm standing at the edge now, it's about to go down. I'm gonna take it higher. It's
There you go, folks. That's going to be the card on the 10th. And we're going to talk about the 17th just before we get off the air. That's going to be a big show, too. And I got a small video to show about that they just put out today. 21 seconds long. It's not very long, but it tells a lot. But, man, you got Fafo coming up for your first title defense in HWA. Now, Fafo's not a little guy. Fafo's not a really big, huge guy. But Fafo is a great wrestler, and he knows the ring very well, man. How are you gonna don't give us your secrets, but how are you gonna manage Fafo to pull off your first title defense?
Fafo's a big guy. He's very fierce. He's intimidating. Somewhat to the point where he's almost got an ego. He just has that natural swagger about himself, if you will. So I will say January 10th, it'll be ego versus experience. Fafo, he's been in the game. He's been successful at EPW. He's been successful at HWA. He's been successful in everything that he does. He will not be successful against me, because that's where that is where talent meets experience. And every time, experience will always beat talent.
Now I've got to ask, Fafo in himself is going to be a hard opponent to beat. But then you got layered on top of that, what happened to you with Ben Wright. Are you going to be looking over your shoulder during this match for Ben Wright to come out and do some, foolery out there?
Well, you see, Fafo also has a manager, the Bombshell. The Bombshell is Fafo's manager, so I have to look over my shoulder for her. I have to look over my shoulder for Ben Wright. I have to look over my shoulder for Vinny Valentine, because I'm sure he's not happy with me about taking his HWA Heavyweight Championship. I also have to look over my shoulder for Joey Godfrey, the guy who's been tormenting me the last couple months. So I knew after winning, I already had a target on my back. I knew after taking the HWA Heavyweight Championship, I was going to have a bigger target on my back. So we're going to address the elephant in the room, and the elephant being Ben Wright. So Ben Wright, he's the root of all evil. He's been the root to all my problems. I was his buddy. I was his friend. I had his back. He put a knife in my back. So Fafo is just a stepping stone. Eventually, I will get Ben in the ring one-on-one, and I will finally put this to rest.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that answer. Sean Duffy, my West Coast connection. Where have you been, Mr. Sean? He said hello and good evening from Fallon, Nevada. So trust me, guys, #truth. Not only North Carolina and South Carolina, all across the states, all the way over to Nevada. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you, man. You have no idea. He runs his own little company over there. Great guy. I just love him to death. Harry Bernard Taylor said, to answer your question, that's right, Joey, and we plan on coming out more in 2025. I think he meant 2026, but that's okay.
Have them come out in both. It'll be okay.
It's been a long year, Harry. We get it. It's been a long year, but I'm pretty sure you meant 2026. Joey Godfrey said, handpicked opponents, forget Ben Wright. So he's apparently Joey's handpicking your opponents, and he's telling you to forget about Ben Wright. How that makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense because I wrestled Fafo and Thomas Extreme, and then the next week I wrestled Dre. I wrestled Dre and I wrestled Dre and Doc and Harlow. I wrestled 3-on-1 matches, 2-on-1 matches. It makes sense for Joey Godfrey to be handpicking opponents because when Vinny Valentine was the heavyweight champion, he was given Crimson Dragon and people like that, easy defeatable opponents. And then me, I always had somehow the odds stacked against me. But that's what I do. I adapt, I overcome, and I succeed.
Joey, that's what I'm thinking. I think he's trying to put you in a sense of ease where you're not looking over your shoulder, where you're not he's trying to put you at a false sense of ease. And you got to watch Joey, man. He'll put you in a false sense of, okay, you're okay. Just go fight the guy in the ring. Next thing you know, there's 6 guys jumping you. I know how the game's played. Joey, I'm the HWA fan club president. I watch Joey every week or every time he has his shows on. And he's going to have 5 shows right in a row. He announced last night, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, the 31st, and then the first week in February. All those shows, man. And, I don't know if you're going to be at every one of those shows because, it's not, it's very uncommon for one wrestler to be at one place for 5 shows in a row. I'm just saying. But, I certainly agree. I certainly agree with that. I mean, I would love to wrestle every weekend. I would love to be on every show, but I also know my breaking the fourth wall here a little bit. I do know that fans do want to see other people. I'm glad that I won Wrestler of the Year. I'm glad I won Most Popular, but I'm sure I still want to be a spectacle. I do not want you to get used to me. I do not want you to get used to seeing me because then it's like, oh, I did not see Joey this show. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just see him next show. So it's like, I think it's a great thing for promoters and bookers to when they take some talent off shows and then rotate talent. It's like this week we have Asher Rain. When's the last time we've seen Asher Rain? We haven't seen him in over a month, but he's back. So that's the great thing about HWA. You're constantly cycling talent. You're not seeing the same guys every other week. Yes, you have your core main roster of 4 or 5 guys, but other than that, you're getting outside guys. You got the Sedin twins. You got Fafo. You got Squeaks who comes in occasionally, and you just have an influx of talent that's coming. Evan Golden from Tennessee. You're getting all these influx of great wrestlers, great guys coming from other places, all to HWA. And I feel that is a place where some of the best wrestle. There you go, man. I appreciate you saying that. There's a lot of people who wouldn't say that, and I disagree with them. And you're using the same defense that I use every time somebody says something bad about HWA. It's the same, and I love you for it, man. Sean Duffy said he used to live in California, but he got the hell out of there. I don't blame you there, man. Harry Bernard Taylor said, yes, sir. And Joey Reimer said to Joey Godfrey, I apologize for calling him. I apologize. Joey Godfrey said, vote was rigged for Joey Reimer. Well, let me tell you something. There's somebody else out there who's very upset about some voting, and I just saw his promo today. That's the Filthy Fabio. Filthy Fabio thought he should have won what Joey Reimer won too. So that's another guy you got to look over your shoulder for because he's already said he's mad at you. Him winning the most hated, he said, I didn't deserve that. I should have been the most popular. So, having that title, there's a big bullseye on your back, man. Are you up to the challenge?
Of course. I've wrestled Caleb Crocker for the very first time a couple months ago, and I thought it was a very great match. It flowed very well. We had great chemistry together. I felt we were able to come together in that match and give the fans really what they wanted to see. It was something that I was very proud of, and it's something that I very much enjoyed, and hopefully Caleb felt the same way. I hope he enjoyed the match we had together. But as far as wrestling goes, I'm sure Caleb would love the HWA Heavyweight Championship, but why would he want the HWA Heavyweight Championship back when he was the one who laid it down in the middle of the ring and left and said, "This means nothing to me"?
Don't make me cry, brother, because that was at my show. That was at the show they did for me at HWA, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of a Caleb Crocker fan, even though everybody hates him. I'm kind of, and when he laid that belt down, man, it hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie to nobody, but now that you have it, I'm good. I'm happy. Vinny Valentine, great champion, but not well liked. Very, very. Oh, there you go. Joey said he left due to a concussion. That's a good reason, but you never want to see a champion lay down a belt, man, for no reason. I don't care, good or bad, as a fan. You don't ever want to see, unless this is the only time I will accept that as a fan. I could see him laying down a title for a concussion like this, something health related, where he has no, control over it, or he's going up to the big show. He's getting the contract. Then I could see that happening. You know what I'm saying? But other than those two reasons, man, get in that ring and fight. That's just the way I feel.
Yeah, I think I remember that now. That was back at the Holly Yatso Memorial Cup. I believe Crocker was wrestling Tristan Williams, took an enziguri, and it hit him in the side of the head. I do remember that, and that's very unfortunate that happened.
It is, and I don't care if it's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't like to see injuries at all in professional wrestling that take people out, because regardless of what anyone says, you guys are trying to. And this is the podcaster saying this now. You guys are trying to do the best you can to get other eyes on you, the fans to love you, eyes on you from above, because every one of you want a contract. But you wouldn't be in this business if you didn't. Okay, so for somebody to get injured in any way, shape, or form, that hurts you, because if it happens more than once, then you get. That people start looking and going, oh, he's a person who gets hurt a lot, and that hurts your views. If I don't know exactly how to put it in the right way, but you're gonna be viewed as fragile. You're gonna be like, oh, this guy's fragile. I'm not gonna keep him on the card, or I'm not gonna book him for bigger shows because he stays injured. I get it. But that's the thing about pro wrestling. When you first go in the locker room, you shake hands, you show your respect. Your goal is to go out there and be the best. If you're not trying to be the best, you don't deserve to be in the locker room, because that should be your goal. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is a hobby. This is just something I do. I build birdhouses and I pro wrestle. No, don't do that. You should be in this 100%, or you should step and get out of the way for someone who is 100%. The training never stops. You should work out in the gym. You should have a look. You should have a tan. You should have real gear. Gym shorts are not gear. Do not be buying your gear at Walmart. That isn't gear. But anyway, with all that being said, your goal in wrestling is coming together, making friends, having a good match, and then going home, you safe, your opponent safe, and the fans happy. That's the goal. And if all the stars align up and all the planets align, you might make a little money too. There you go. But I will say one thing though, about what you just said, and it's kind of a exception to the rule, if you will. And again, I'm a fan. I'm not a wrestler, so I don't want 50 million emails telling me I suck and I'm wrong. If you're doing a gimmick, okay, and your gimmick needs certain clothes that isn't straight up professional wrestling clothes, then that might be understandable. But those are few and far between, but there are a few out there. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you with just throwing on a pair of shorts and a pair of tennis shoes and going to the ring. That's not wrestling gear. Okay.
You're not a wrestler. No,
you're not. I do agree with you. I'm just saying that if there is a gimmick where, you need certain things to, show your gimmick, like, I don't know. There are some clown gimmicks who ain't going to come out in regular wrestling gear. Okay.
I get it. I get it. I get people like wearing clown clothes or like guys doing the overalls for the hillbilly gimmick or things like that. I get it. It makes sense. That in my mind, yes, that you get a leeway with that. But there needs to be talent behind the gimmick. A lot of times, I would say that's a cop out. Honestly, sometimes I feel that says like, oh, I can't get over as myself, so let me go do this character because I can't get myself over, or I can't work. I'm not a good wrestler, so let me go do strictly gimmick based character just so I can get over. It's like someone saying I'm the garbage man, and then they just start wearing a garbage costume. Horrible wrestler, but he gets himself over by playing to the lowest common denominator.
I got you. And I understand that, and I do agree. Linda Wages is in the house. She said, sorry, I'm late. You're never late, Miss Linda. You're right on time. And she said, go, Joey Godfrey, don't start your crap. She knows. She was going back and forth with Joey Godfrey last night, man. So let me ask you something. Like I said, you were raised in professional wrestling. What does it mean to you when you see men who go into the ring and they don't wipe their feet before they enter the ring? What does that mean to you?
It's extremely disrespectful because that's our office. That's where we conduct business. You go to the ring, you wipe your feet, you get in. It's like guys that come in the locker room and don't shake hands. You're not trusting me. It's a respect thing. Everything boils down to respect. There's so many different things about wrestling that are seen as respectful versus disrespectful. So it's kind of like if I came to your house right now, Scott, and I walked in, I sat on your couch and put my feet on the coffee table. It's kind of the same thing. It's just something someone with good etiquette and good manners. It's just something they won't do. So you walk up the steps or you jump up on the apron, you wipe your feet, and then you get in the ring. It's just something you do. And besides, it keeps the mat clean. The mat's already dirty. We're bleeding, we're sweating, and we're everything on that mat. We do not need whatever's on the bottom of your shoes on that mat as well.
There you go. I mean, I never thought of it that way, but yes, the respect part, yes, definitely. I do 100% agree. And when you come in and you know, you're a wrestler, especially new to a locker room, go around and shake everybody's hand, even if you mistake somebody for not being a wrestler. It's better to be mistaken or than it is to not do it. You know what I'm saying? I've had people come up to me at HWA that were new, that came up and shook my hand, didn't know I was #truth, didn't know me from nothing, but they saw me up there by the ring and walked right up and shook my hand. You know, I was like, do you know who I am? They're like, you're a wrestler, right? No, I do a podcast. Oh, okay. And, you know, but it's just the fact that they came up in with the attitude, like you said, of I'm going to be respectful to everybody who's in and around the ring. And how do you feel about training, like showing up early and training in the ring? And some people, how do you feel? Do you think that some of the younger kids should show up and, you know, if they got an hour before, you know, doors open and they're up there in the ring? Because you see a lot of guys do that. Do you think that they should get up there and pick the brains of those, you know, well-educated in wrestling minds?
See, that's a very hot button issue, especially for me. I'm always at a show usually 2 hours early. Even all the way back to when I was traveling in Georgia, I was 2 hours early. You get in the ring, you pick the mind. I picked the mind of Todd Sexton. That was an amazing wrestler, still is an amazing wrestler. Wish to see him. But you lock up, you learn. You learn by wrestling people better than you. And that's what some of the younger guys, they wrestle the same guys. They wrestle their buddy. There's like, oh, I can have this 5-star match with my buddy because we've been working on it, so on and so forth. But what happens when you lock up with me? What happens when you lock up with Kilgore? What happens when you lock up with somebody else? That pre-rehearsed match that's in your mind with your buddy, all that's gone. Now you're wrestling someone else. Always wrestle someone better than you so you can learn. And that's kind of, I got stagnant at one point where I was wrestling some pretty rough shows, and I wouldn't say it was like a big fish in a small pond type scenario, but I was wrestling these guys and they would grab the wrong arm or something. And I'd be like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know any better. I was like, "Hey, well, do you go to training? Are you training? Who trained you? Oh, well, I just watch wrestling." And I'm like, "Oh, got it."
I got to get to this guy real quick. So we got a few. Joey said to Miss Linda, "Better late than never." Well, never be better, Linda Wages. And here's your man, Jay Eagle. He said, "Joey, my man." He said, "Joey R." And Linda Wages said, "Reimer, you done know Joey Godfrey is going to cheat on you with his puppets." You know it's coming. I know it's coming. We all know it's coming, Linda. We all know. Even Joey knows. We've been talking about this for the last half hour. He knows it's coming. And they're gonna stack the deck. They always do. And Joey's gonna be ready. I believe in my heart Joey's gonna be ready for that, man. Without a doubt. Now, we were sitting here talking about training and picking people's ears and stuff like that. Who was the first person when you decided to get into professional wrestling? Who was the first person that you trained under? Who was the first guy or gal that, took Joey Reimer under their wing and said, "Okay, come here, let me show you how it's done"?
It was really the Goonies. It was the Goonies and Chris Hamrick. Chris Hamrick, Mike McLeod, Rocky Star, Derek Rise, BJ Hancock. Those were the guys that it really started off with, "Hey kid, come here, let me try something." And then they'll pick up and start slamming me in random moves that they were working on. But those were the group of guys that after they beat the crap out of me, because, that was an older time.
But see, that's what these new kids don't understand. That's a part of learning. If you're sitting there listening to these guys going, "Hey, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do this." And you hear them talking to other guys who've been in the business for 20 years. If you're not smart enough to keep that ear open and listen, you're going to learn something.
Right. It was, they got, and then once they said, "Let me try something," they'd beat me up for a couple of 15, 20 minutes. And then the next training would happen. I would show back up. They were like, "Oh, okay. This kid really wants to do it. He actually wants to wrestle because we beat the crap out of him, and now he's back." I was like, "Okay, cool. Now let me show you something." So I learned with them. I learned a lot with them. Great guys. That opportunity with NWA Anarchy and Georgia opened up. I got down there, learned so much from Stephen Walters, Seth DeLay, Todd Sexton. I learned so much from those guys. I'm very blessed. I couldn't thank those guys enough. And then on the business side of things, I learned a lot of business side of things from Jay Eagle, watching how he did things, how he conducted business with people, and so on and so forth. And then as time goes by, I started riding with Brett Wolverton. He hooked me up many shows. I got in contact with Bob Keller, great guy. I thank Bob for everything. I got working with OSCW down in Charleston, WrestleForce in Columbia. At one point, I was wrestling APW Chester on Fridays, which another great show. I see they're doing great things. I wish them nothing but success. But unfortunately, with my current real life career, I'm unfortunately unable to wrestle on Fridays. So I've been sticking mostly to Saturday bookings. But a lot of great guys. I would definitely say Chief Jay Eagle, Bob Keller, Brett Wolverton, Bill Behrens.
There you go. See, and the one thing,
great guys,
Joey, that that list is never going to end. You'll probably sit here for 10, 15 minutes because you're always learning stuff, man. You're one of them guys that I know in my heart that you get around these veterans. You are trying to learn more. You're trying to learn more. You're trying to you never stop learning. And there are some out there. And I'm not going to name names, but there are some wrestlers out there and some in our area who think, "Oh, I already know everything I need to know. Let's go." And you know what I'm saying? It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see wrestlers like that. Linda said she's always got your back, Mr. Reimer. So,
and I've got hers too. I've known her since I was a child. She's a very great lady. I've known her since I was around 12 years old, and her family and her granddaughters and daughters and so on were always come to wrestling shows, and I always give her a hug and tell her hi and check on her whenever I see her. But another great lady. So that's the thing about pro wrestling. I had the ability. I've met so many great people. I can count the good people on one hand, but I've met a lot of bad people too, unfortunately. But that's just how it is. But I'm very blessed and very, very happy with the great people that I've met. I'm glad that I took the opportunity to meet Joey Godfrey and get up into North Carolina again. I haven't this point in my life, I hadn't wrestled in North Carolina in almost 10 years. I was a strictly South
Carolina. You get a pop when you come through HWA Curtin, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You get a pop. There's a lot of people up there that like you, that back you, and who would you say at this point in your career has been your biggest opponent? Who has been your biggest threat?
I wouldn't say threat because I don't really feel that I'm threatened by anyone. I'm the HWA heavyweight champion right now. I'm on top of the world. I'm at the top of the food chain. I'm the shark and everyone else is fishes at this point. So I'm at the top. When you're at the top, you're looking down. But that's the thing about being at the top. To be at the top, you have to stay at the top. I have to stay on top of my game, and that's how I feel. So I'm threatened by no one. But I will say,
I'm sorry. Linda said, Robert, don't say that about Joey Godfrey. He sucks. Go ahead. Keep going, bro. I'm just laughing.
She's hilarious. But threatened, I'm not threatened by anyone. But I will say my match with Colin Casanova, that really pushed me because he's young, he's up and coming. It was a very fast-paced match. He's newer to the business, so when we were doing things and going over things, it's like boom, 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 one after the other, and then this and that. And it was very fast paced, but it was very good. I'm very proud of myself, the way that I was able to take charge of that match and like how it went. But I'm also very proud of him, the way that he was able to like keep up, the way that he was able to flawlessly one move after the other. So I would say expensive attraction. That is the future of pro wrestling.
I love those two guys, man. I can't say enough about them. There are quite a few tag teams in this area that I do like, but they are definitely in my top 5, no doubt about it. Their gimmick is gold, man. They from the time they go through the curtain to the time they leave, they are their gimmick, and it is awesome to watch, man. They are cocky, conceited. They do the dance thing. I just love everything about it. And when they lose, there's always a reason why. It's not them, but there's always a reason why.
Right.
It's cute, man. It is a really great gimmick. Now, I know I asked this question, but I think I can answer it for you, but I'm not going to. I usually ask, a wrestler when they come on, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I'm going to ask you, but I'm pretty sure I know what your answer is going to be. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And the uncertainty is what scares me, honestly. So, like I said, I started in 2008 training. I had my first match in 2009. So I kind of feel like I have more time behind me than I got ahead of me. Yes, I'm only 30, but I'm having issues with my knees, mostly my right knee. I will say that. But I would say you talked about veterans and picking the minds of veterans. And as I go to wrestling shows and I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm looking around the locker room and I'm like, wow, almost all the guys that I started with were the vets. They're gone. And I'm looking around the locker room and I'm like, okay, well, there's so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, dang, he started in 2012 or he started in 2020. And I'm just like, wow, there's very few of the guys left that are still around when I was coming up. I will say Myrick Moore, Derek Driver, Kid Chaos, Ben Wright. Those are a few that are still around that were around when I was coming up. But as time goes on and they start aging and I start aging.
You got around this pack about the same time I did because they were EWF back then. This company was EWF back then. And all those names you named were like the top guys back then. They were the top tier. You know what I'm saying? Derek Driver was the heavyweight champion for EWF. I couldn't tell you for how long. It was a while,
Yeah.
Perry James, great manager, was their manager. He used to manage him and The Irish Hand Grenade.
Myrick Moore.
Myrick Moore. They used to be a tag team, and man, they killed the tag team division for a while. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They were the champs for quite a while, man. I've seen so many people come in and out, just watching EWF. Then, of course, it transferred into HWA, moved to Rutherford 10. But, man, it's good. There's good in it, and then there's sadness in it. I won't say bad. There's goodness, and then there's sadness. Because I still love, one of the great factions that EWF had back in the day was the Unbookables. And man, I'm telling you, I would love to see a faction like that hit at HWA. Just throwing it out there as a fan, I would love to see a faction like that hit where, 4 or 5 guys actually showed up a good amount of time and kind of did the takeover thing. I think that would be so sweet. If
that was something that happened, I feel that Caleb Crocker would be like the ringleader, and then like maybe throw Dark Archer and some people like that to be his henchmen. If
there's the people there that can do it, I'm just throwing that out.
I believe so.
But then you got the good guys. And a couple others that are at the company that, would be the challenge, to that faction. I've always loved that. Joey, who is your favorite wrestler and why is it Ben Wright?
I will say my favorite wrestler is Macho Man, but on the independent circuit, I would say my favorite wrestler locally would, I'm a big fan of Expensive Attraction. I'm a big fan of Caleb Crocker. Yes, they're bad guys. I'm not necessarily agreeing with their morals, but as wrestlers, I'm a fan of them. And as far as Ben Wright, deep down, I still feel he's the same guy that he's always been. He's still my buddy. We're just fighting right now. We're just fighting right now. I'll just keep telling myself that to keep me from beating him up.
Straight Up Wrestling Show said Myrick and David just retired. Okay, I didn't know that. See? There you go. Joey Godfrey. Oh, we already asked that one. Sorry. Matthew Collins, Sea Dog, is on here saying, good evening, Scott. And he said, nice to meet you, Joey. He's running another show. I'm watching his show on this screen, and I'm doing our show on this screen. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, it's great to see everybody coming in here. Myrick Moore and Derek. No, Myrick Moore and Derek Driver can't be retired because I just saw him a couple weeks ago wrestle. Unless they just did it.
I was hearing rumors about them hanging it up for a little while, but you know how pro wrestling is about rumors. I heard rumors going around that they were hanging it up at the last 3 count show. I'm not sure how true that is, but Myrick Moore and Derek started around 2001, 2002. They started about 5 years before I did. They were kind of like the vets. They were actually who I had my first gimmick match with. I had a ladder match against Myrick Moore and Derek Driver, I believe, when I was 12 or 13 years old. Great guys. They really helped me out through that match and showed me.
That just blows my mind. You were being a paid wrestler at 12 years old, wrestling in a ring. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's when I started. I started very young. Paid, no. Because I didn't realize wrestlers got paid. So that goes back to me being young and naive and not realizing that wrestlers got paid. So I would say, and then part of it's like earning your due and everything, paying your dues. So I think it was like a year and a half or 2 years before I won my first match, and also about a year before I started getting paid. But it would be like maybe $5 or $10 here and there.
There you go. Harry said he talked to them right after the 3 count show. So apparently it is very new. So a lot of us don't know about it yet. Thank you very much, Harry. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the news.
That's truly sad news, very depressing, but great guys. I really enjoyed wrestling them, and I'm glad I got to see them again.
Yeah, he said also, I hope they come back, but they said, Harry, they're done. So wow. But Matthew Collins said, since you mentioned gimmick matches, which type of gimmick match is your favorite?
I like cage matches. I like steel cage matches because there's so many different ways you can play off. You can do so many storylines in a cage match. I can beat you by climbing out of the cage. I can beat you by going through the door of the cage, or I can beat you by pinning you or submitting you. So it's like depending what storyline or whatever you're working, if you're a good guy or a bad guy, depending on who you're wrestling, I can go many different routes. It's like, hey, I'm a bad guy. Let's say I'm a bad guy, for instance. I escape the cage. And then the good guy can say, yeah, you escaped the cage, but you didn't pin me. So you've never defeated me. And then that can just lead on into other stories later down the road. But I will say cage match. Ladder matches are pretty fun to be in, but it's not it's kind of cut dry with ladder matches. You know, you climb the ladder, grab the belt.
There you go. He said that is true. He also said, I've been in 2 cage matches. I enjoyed my second one more than my first one. Matthew is Sea-Dog, who I had on Monday night. We're going to have a part 2, by the way, guys, with Matthew and his tag team partner back in the day, G Smooth, NOD. We're setting up the date pretty soon, so I'll let you know about that. Linda said, Joey Godfrey, run your mouth now about my granddaughter. She's watching. Boy, them two are going to go at it, man. So
which granddaughter? You have like 5.
Right? And all of them could probably beat up Joey anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
They're all nice. They're all nice girls. They're very respectful and very kind. They were raised very well.
There you go. He said, oh, snap. Listen to that. Hey, let me get the popcorn. Matthew's having a good time. Thank you for coming into hashtag Matthew, man. But let me ask you, if you could change anything about Joey Reimer right now, what would it be?
I would change my work ethic. I work very hard. I wish I could go back and had the opportunity to travel more. I did get to wrestle in West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, but I wish I would have got to go overseas, wrestle overseas. That's always been a goal of mine, and things like that. I wish I would have made those connections. That's one thing that I wouldn't say regret, but that I wish that's something I would have taken more time to do.
Linda Wade just said Brooklyn Martinez. I have no idea who Brooklyn Martinez is, but okay. And
it's her granddaughter.
Oh, that's the granddaughter. Okay. Well, Brooklyn, I still say you could beat Joey up. So, and Linda Wade just said, thank you, Reimer. She appreciates it. Here's my last question of the night, because we've been on an hour, and my back, as you guys can see, I've been fidgeting a lot. My meds are wearing off. So here's my last question of the night, and I love asking this question. It's sort of like the last one, but a lot different. What would the Joey Reimer of today tell the Joey Reimer who first walked through a curtain at 12, apparently? What would you tell that kid?
I'd tell him, listen, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but this will take you farther than you could ever imagine. That's what I would say. So lace your boots up, listen, learn, and love what you do. Because the minute wrestling stops being fun and the minute that I start feeling unappreciated or not valued, or where it feels like a job and doesn't feel like having fun, because that's 90% of the wrestling. It's like, I'm here to entertain the fans. I'm here to have fun. And that's what wrestling's about. It's about the common love of pro wrestling, of us as wrestlers and us as fans, all coming together, sharing this one love of a common interest. So I will say, love what you do. Love what you do. And enjoy it.
100%. He said, great advice, man. Great advice. Joey, I appreciate you being on hashtag Truth, brother. You can come back anytime you want, man. I would love to have you back on. And Linda Wade just said, Scott Larson, thank you for giving us this opportunity to feud on #Truth. Hey, anytime. Matter of fact, we might have to have a match, you against Joey, man, at HWA. It's going to have to happen at some point. I'm just saying. But before we leave, I do have to show a video. I promised I would do this, and there is a show coming up on the 10th. You guys saw all the great matches. We showed that earlier. If you missed it, go back and watch the video. It's about it's exactly a minute long. I tell you every match. This guy right here will be defending his heavyweight championship, probably in the main event against Fafo. But we have another show coming up, HWA. When I say we, HWA has another show coming up on the 17th, and this one is for Robert Ordway, Big Country. We all know him as Big Country. He had surgery on his ankle/foot this morning. It came out fine. He's at home. I just saw a picture on Facebook where he said, you know, he's hurting, but he's okay. He's at home. And we're going to help him out with the medical, with his medical bills for that surgery and stuff like that. So I'm going to play this little 21-second video real quick. The show is going to be on the 17th. We'll give you the rest of the information afterwards. And then we'll let Joey Reimer tell you where to find him on social media, and then we're going to get out of here. So here's the quick video.
My sneakers up this morning, tie my boots up, cause I knew it was gonna be a long day. Tie my truck up, grab my coffee, kiss my baby, got on my way. Cause I'm working till it's hurting, and that's the only way to make an honest day's pay. So I'm working even when it's hurting, and that's the
There you go. Really short and sweet. It's going to be on October 17th, 217 Gilkey School Road. Only $5 to get in. Kids 10 and under get in free. All proceeds are going to go to Big Country to help him with his expenses for his surgery. If you want to know more information about that, go on Robert Big Country Ordway's Facebook page, and you can see he tells you everything about it on there. Or you could just hit me up, and I'll tell you. Either way. But Mr. Joey Reimer, if somebody wanted to check you out on social media to find out where you're wrestling next, where would they find you, sir?
Find me on Facebook, find me on YouTube, find me on Heritage Wrestling Alliance Interactive page. Those would be the places you can find me.
There you go. All under Joey Reimer, correct?
Joey Reimer.
There you go, man. Again, I appreciate you being on the show, man. And we're going to end it like this. I know you guys are commenting away. I really would. Jay Eagle said, love you, JR. Linda Wade just said, I'm ready for the match against Joey. And she also said, send prayers for Country. There you go.
100%. Yeah, show up for Country, show Country some love, get some money, help him out. Big thank you to Scott for allowing me to be here. Thank you for Joey Godfrey for allowing me to be at HWA. Thank you, Bill Behrens, for NWA Anarchy. Thank you, Franklin Dove, the promoter of Anarchy. Thank you, Chief Jay Eagle, American Pro Wrestling, all those years. Bob Keller, big thank you to you. Russell Forrest, OSCW, Brett Wolverton, my best friend. Scott Larson, love you, buddy. Hope to see you. Hope you feel better. Big Country, big love to you if you're watching. Love all my friends, and I will see you guys the 10th, the 17th, and the 31st.
There you go. So if you guys want to go see some hard-hitting action with Joey Reimer being involved, he just told you where to find. He just told you where to find him. He's going to be at HWA 217 Gilkey School Road, Rutherford, North Carolina. Doors open 6:30, bell time 7:30, $5 at the door. Kids 10 and under are free. He is the new reigning, defending HWA heavyweight champion, and that is the #truth. We will see you guys Friday night I'm going to have a Friday night wrestler profile. So we'll see you then. You guys have a great night.
Truth Podcast.